Sean here with BaseMint Comics. It is Christmas Eve. It's New Comic Wednesday, which is pretty awesome. Instead of tea, I have coffee in this sweet Fantastic Four Family Jam Band. It's coffee and not tea because it's Christmas Eve and I'm under the gun. So, let's see. Last night, the 23rd, we did our usual, which is my sister makes my this breakfast Christmas casserole that my mom made that I love dearly. And every December 23rd, my wife and I, we watch Die Hard. And then my sister comes over and we open presents with them because I spend holidays with my wife's family because for obvious reasons, if you've been watching the videos. And not only did Henry and I get awesome matching Spider-Man pajamas, but I also got this sweet Christmas ornament for my sister, which was pretty awesome. So let's see. Last week, if you watched the New Comic Book Wednesday video, I posted it super early because we were going to a Red Wings game after that. It was the first time that Henry was ever going to be to see a hockey game, and it was really great. So I am going to, at this point, kick it over to a very quick video of how cool the hockey game was. Ashley got picked. As we were walking in, she got picked to be mom of the game. And so during the second period, they like ushered us up to the organ and did a whole interview with her, and she won a $500 gift card, and it was displayed on the Jumbotron during one of the commercial breaks during the second period. So, you know, for Hank's first game, being that close to the ice and then having all that happen, pretty memorable. All right, so gonna do that. Then the Christmas Eve ride to the comic book shop, which we already did, spoilers. And then I'll be back here to talk about what I liked about last week and what we picked up this week. All right, so as you could clearly tell, if you didn't fast forward through all of that, the hockey game was awesome, and our Hank and I's ride up to the comic book shop was awesome. It was a bummer. Most, not all, but most of the snow melted because we had a pretty big warm up like 2 days before Christmas, which just sort of sucked because we have been in like bitterly like 0 temperatures leading up to this and tons of snow. Thankfully, we got a ton of good Christmas stuff in before it melted. But I was really pulling for another white Christmas for the kiddo. So last week's books, what I really loved. Here's the crazy thing. The books that I gushed about last week that I normally would have really enjoyed. Like I really enjoyed Battle World and Amazing Spider-Man Torn. I've talked a lot about those. And how much I've been enjoying those, both miniseries that are like right up my alley, and definitely like if you aren't picking them up, something to look into in a trade situation. Hopefully, Avengers was there were like no Avengers in it. It was an all Twilight Court issue, which was interesting. Obviously, like I like my Avengers being in Avengers books, but I kind of liked the flesh out of like kind of showing how they got to where they're at. That was interesting to me. Black Cat number 5, I've gone on and on about that series, but that issue was my least favorite of the 5 so far. Daredevil and Punisher, I think it's called Devil's Trigger. That issue was really good. Lots of like, it's exactly what I want out of a Daredevil book. Like him obviously punching bad guys in the red tights, but also lots of courtroom stuff, which worked out really good. And then when it came to the Age of Revelation titles, surprisingly, hot garbage. That's not the surprising part. This book was terrible. And I want to say that I have thoroughly been enjoying the regular Storm book, but I don't know what this was. And it was a bum out. But Radioactive Spider-Man, Revelation, Omega Kids, and Last Wolverine, I actually all thought they ended really good. I was like, these should have been one-shots. And that was about it. So those were the books that I picked up last week. I am breezing through everything today because we've got to be at the in-laws in like 45 minutes. I can do it. So then, obviously, and really, like, truthfully, the stuff that I picked up last week was good, but I sort of, as I was reading it, I was like, there is nothing that has, like, knocked my socks off in these issues. So there wasn't really, like, a clear, like, holy crap, this is the book that, like, really did it for me this week. So, all right, on to what I picked up this week. 1776, number 2. I liked number 1, but my biggest complaint with it was the fact that it sold me on having Cyclops on the cover, and he wasn't in the issue at all. And so here he is again. I'm not even going to flip through the issue. But if he's not in this issue, that is going to really, really, really bum me out, because that is one of my least favorite things about modern comics. You know, back in the day, if the cover was sort of like, hey, this is what this issue is about, and it tied into the story. Now sometimes it feels like it's just pinup art, and I love pinup art, but I want my comic cover to signify what is in that issue, because Cyclops not in that book, that pisses me off. And then I'm like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed number 1, so I was happy to pick up number 2, but if I hadn't, anyways. Expatriate X-Men. I have said this 100 times. I'm part of the problem with the X-Men right now, because I'm still this is not one of my favorite of the titles. However, I did enjoy the 3rd issues of some of the books in the Age of Revelation storyline that I wasn't enjoying. So, you know, fingers slightly crossed that this is good. X-Vengers is the 2nd. I know there was like the 2 that I didn't pick up were Undeadpool, because I really like, I've got it. I could go on and on. It should probably be a whole separate video for my feelings about how I think Deadpool should be treated, and it's certainly not how. I don't get it. I like the movies. I like the character when he was first introduced, but him being like a, I don't know. I just like the last, that character is a. So I don't want to get into it. I don't have time. One of these days, I'm going to get into it. Anyways, X-Avengers kind of gave me like a, they did a 2-issue mini during the Age of Apocalypse called X-Universe, which kind of showed like what happened to like the Fantastic Four and the Avengers, etc. during the Age of Apocalypse. And I was kind of hoping for a similar, and there is kind of a similar vibe to this. And that's sort of what's drawn me in on this one. Okay. A book that I am absolutely, I don't really want to buy this, but so over the summer they did one of those swimsuit specials, and I remember those from when I was a kid, and I did not, I didn't pre-order it because I was like, no, I'm not going up to the counter of my comic book store with one of these like cheesy, no, not doing it. Then I got to the store. I flipped through it, fully expecting to eye roll, just, and it was actually like there was a story that was happening in it, and it was fun. And so I was like, okay, as long as it's kind of, it had a story and it was good. So then they announced this Marvel Winter Break special, and I was like, I love Christmas specials, and I have faith now because of how the summer swimsuit special thing sort of like poked fun at those old swimsuit ones. So I'm kind of hoping for a similar vibe here, although I just flipped to that page of Namor, and I could have got bamboozled. We'll see. Spider-Man 94, I love the cartoon. I've been enjoying the first 3 issues of this. I enjoy Jim Toe's art, and obviously it is written by J.M. DeMatteis, and he knows how to write a good Spider-Man story. So I have been enjoying this immensely. Amazing Spider-Man number 982. Man, that's pretty exciting. We're getting close to 1,000. So obviously, we had a space issue last week. I think, no, 2 weeks ago, obviously, because it wasn't. And that was good. And now we're back to the Norman dressed as Peter, Ben handling the Norman dressed as Spider-Man, Ben handling the Peter aspect of this. And I've been really kind of enjoying the back and forth on this book. I don't think I would like it as much if the book wasn't coming out as frequently as it does, because I think it would be too long of a break in between. But with this bi-weekly, sometimes weekly schedule, the back and forth of seeing Peter, the switch off of the art duties, has been really good. So the last new book that I picked up is the one I'm most excited for, The Will of Doom #1. I didn't read the Red Hulk One World Under Doom story, but I heard it was really good. And I've heard this kind of ties into that. Makes me wonder if I should pick up a trade, if that pops up at any point, because I have heard good things about it. But I enjoyed the One World Under Doom storyline immensely this summer and fall. And I'm looking forward, the last issue kind of ended on a note that it sort of gave me Dark Reign vibes, where I was like, oh, I'm definitely interested to see where this sort of goes, and the world that we're going to be living in the Marvel universe after this. So those are the new books that I picked up. I grabbed a couple of, Henry saw this adorable Walt Disney Huey, Louie, and Dewey skiing, and it's Christmas Eve, and it's Christmassy, and it felt fun as he was looking around, and it's always great when he notices something in the short boxes that are at his height. And he also got very excited when he saw the Captain America Little Golden Book. So, we picked up those, and then I flip through the X-Men again in the hopes that I would find some of those later run reprinted 60s issues, but clearly I have bought them out. But I was like, hey, if they're dropping Silver Age old X-Men in there, guaranteed somebody came along and probably dropped off some Silver Age stuff of other titles that I'm interested in. And I think my shop does this thing where they don't put everything out at once. They kind of like set out a couple, see if they sell, and then replenish, which is good for me because it breaks it up financially. And, you know, then every week I'm like, what could possibly be in there? And this week there was Avengers 97, Rick Jones. You know, I have obviously read this issue because I've been doing the Corner Box Classic thing for quite some time. But this looked, I mean, I've got it in trade because I have the first 100 issues of Avengers in Epic Collections, but I was like, I'm not going to pass that up because my shop does a good job of pricing back issues where they are well within our budget. So the last book that I got, I was like, I can't pass this up. Look at this, Fantastic Four 83. If you see a Jack Kirby Fantastic Four in the back issue bins of your comic book store, and it's like not CGC'd or, you know, $150 in a double Mylar bag. This is just hanging out in a poly bag, just there for anybody to grab. And man, it's got, I had a moment there where I was like, this, look at this ad. This ad looks like it's sort of cut off right there. And I was like, I'm gonna flip this page and it's gonna, some kid. But thankfully, there is nothing cut out of here. But it's a fun little Inhumans Fantastic Four cover. So I was like, why not? It's Christmas Eve. So, that is New Comic Book Wednesday. I am off to celebrate Christmas Eve with the family, and then I get to, I'm the liturgist at church tonight for the Christmas Eve service. I do that every Christmas Eve, so I get to do the Linus. I get to be Linus during the Charlie Brown Christmas special, so that's always nice. Anyways, sorry this one's quick. This is still probably gonna, like, it's still probably gonna be too long. I can't help myself. And like I said, I'm probably gonna double down come post-Christmas. So anyways, I hope everyone has a happy holiday. In a way for you to, thanks to anybody who subscribed. That's been very nice. That's been making my Christmas merry. If you would like to also make my Christmas merry, you can comment. What did you pick up this week? I'd like to hear about it. This is actually supposed to be somewhat of a back and forth. And like and subscribe. That would be awesome. And I will be back maybe this weekend. I don't know. I could be in a Christmas coma and we could just be playing with toys and reading comic books for the next couple of days. So I'm sure there will be something. But right now I got to get going because it's, you know, it's time to hang out with family. Kick ass. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for taking this ride with us. Bye.